Alright, here we go. So I'm going to explain how you do this checkbook activity. This is, I love math. That is real world stuff, and this is definitely one of them. And it's actually something that probably your parents could probably help you with, but sometimes we all get busy. So here's a video in case you need a little assistance. So the whole point of this is we're preparing for this thing that we're doing at school, which is called Life 101, which is a whole bunch of real life stuff. And you need to know how to use a checkbook. And so you're going to fill in this checkbook, and we have a savings register here too. And I'm going to show you how you do that. So the very first thing is on June 30th, your balance is $642.43. So what you can do is on here, let's see if my pen is working. I'm going to use red. Actually, I'm going to use black. Alright, so I'm going to fill in, this is Mr. Lewis checkbook, and the very first balance we said was $642.43. And you see how I put the whole dollars here and I put the cents over here. It's kind of separated right here. And then that's the beginning balance. So I'm really not going to have anything right here. So you can just leave those blank. And so now let's move on to the next part. It says let me go back to it. On July 1st, you wrote a check number 152 for your rent to Mr. Landlord for $415. Well, that's pretty cheap rent. That's about half the price of normal rent. But alright, so this is a deal is when you write a check, every check has its own unique number. In this case, we wrote, I'm going to do this in red because you'll see why in a second. This is check 152. They told us the date was July 1st. So we've got 7/1. I guess we're talking about 2014. Description of the transaction, you can say rent. Okay. And now we have to determine if it was a payment. Did we lose money on this, or was it a deposit? A deposit means that you put money into your account. And so in this case, because we're paying out money, we lost this money. So it's $415. So we have $415, and that's it. It's even. $415. So now that's going to affect my balance, how much money I have in this account. Alright, so the way that you would do this is you would take 642 and 43 cents, and you're going to subtract $415 and 0 cents. And so 3 minus 0 is 3, 4 minus 0 is 4. We have to borrow from that, makes that a 3, makes that a 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. Don't forget to bring down your decimal. 3 minus 1 is 2, and 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, so that used up a lot of my money. So now my balance is $227.43. Okay, so this is how you're filling this in. So now what I'm going to do is I've done the first one. I've done the second one. Let's move on to the next one. On July 1st, you use your ATM card at the grocery store for $21.20. Okay? So again, I'm going to use red. Now you don't have to change your colors. I'm just doing that because it's costing me money. So again, this is July 1st, 2014, and I used it at the grocery store? Yep. So I'm going to say description. You can say grocery store. All right. And the amount was $21 and 20 cents. And see, this is my remaining balance after the previous check that I wrote, and now I spent another $21, so I'm going to have to take some money away from that. So $21.20, and so we've got 32602. So now my remaining balance is $206.23. Let's go back and see. I've already done this. Then on July 5th, you wrote a check to the electric company for $85. Now, they didn't tell me what my check number here is, but you might not know this, but check numbers usually are, well, they are sequential. So if I already wrote a check for check number 152, that means this next check would be 153. Now you're probably like, well, why didn't we have a check number here? Well, when you use your debit card, it's almost kind of like a credit card. There is no check number. You're not writing a check, even though it does come out of your checking account. All right, so now we wrote this on the 5th, 7/5/2014, and this was a check to the electric company, so I'm going to say power bill. You could try to fit an electric company in there, and it was $85. 85. Was it 85 even? Yep, 85 even. All right, and so now I spent more money, so I got to take away $85. And just so you know, $85 for a power bill is pretty low. Let's see, 3, 2. 6 minus 5 is 1. I have to borrow from that. Makes that a 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2. And then I have that 1 over there. So now my ending balance is $121.23. Okay. Only 5 days into the month, and I'm already looking pretty low. All right, so let's cross that out. I've done that. You go to a mall and you want to buy a television that costs $150. Can you afford this television? Let me take a look. Can I afford the television for $150? No, I cannot. It's because I only have $121. All right, guess I don't get a television this month. On July, all right, so I'm going to cross this out because I've already done it. On July 10th, you withdraw $45 from the ATM. The ATM charges you $2 for the withdrawal, and that's very common. All right. So in this case, it is I'm taking money out of the account. It's not going to have a check number. I did not write a check to myself. The date of this transaction is July 10th. So we have 7/10. I'm not going to put the 14. And then I'm going to say ATM as my description. You could say cash. You got out cash. And the amount of cash that you got out was $45. But don't forget, it's going to also cost you $2 to withdraw the money. So that's going to be $47 is how much is being removed from my checking account. So I need to subtract $47. Don't forget, line up your decimals so this doesn't change. I need to borrow from this 12, makes that an 11. It makes this an 11. 11 minus 7 is going to be 4. And 11 minus 4 is going to be 7. So now my ending balance is $74.23. All right, so now let's move on to the next question. All right, so I've already done this one. Oh, good. On July 15th, you get a paycheck for $525. Good. I needed that. All right. Run low on money. So there's not going to be a check number. All right. Because I'm not withdrawing. You're only using check numbers if you write a check. And the date of this that I'm getting paid was the 15th. I'm going to put description, paycheck. paycheck. I'm just abbreviated. I'm kind of running out of room here. And I'm not going to put it in my payment/debit, okay? Because I'm not paying out that money. I'm depositing that money. And let's see what this paycheck amount is. $525. That's not crazy good. Alright, $525. And so because this is a deposit, I need to add to my current balance. So I'm going to add $525 even. And so this is going to be 23. 5 and 4 is 9. Don't forget to bring down your decimals. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then 5. So now we have $599.23. Okay. My checkbook is looking a little bit better now. I can cross that out. And let's move on to the next one. On July 18th, you wrote, or I write a check for $202 to the Bank of USA for your car payment. Okay, so let's see. They didn't give us a check number, so I'm going to assume that my check number is sequential, which means the next check number is 154. This was, let's see, what's the date of this? July 18th. 07/18, and I'm going to say car payment. And my car payment, let's see, they said was $202. That is pretty cheap car payment. $202. In real life, it would probably be double that, but that's okay. Maybe you bought a used car. And I notice I put it in my payment because it's going to cost me money. So that means I need to subtract $202 from my current balance. So I'm left with, well, this doesn't change. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus nothing is 9. 5 minus 2 is 7. So now my balance, I'm added that last one. 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. Oh yeah, be careful. This is costing me money. I almost made a terrible checkbook mistake by saying that it was a deposit, but it's not a deposit. It's costing me money. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So now my ending balance is $397 and 23 cents. All right. Now let's go back. Cross that one out. And move on to number 9. Number 9 says, well, it should say, on July 20th, you realize your check to the Bank of USA should have been for $220.02. What do you do? Alright, so you've already sent out the check. Alright? You've already sent it out, so it's not like, I guess you could technically do a cancel payment and then issue a new check, but lots of times what you would do is you would just send a check for the difference of the amount. How much did you short them? Alright, so we sent a check to them for $202.00. I should have sent it to them for $220.02. So what I need to do is find out how much do I still owe to them, and I'm going to find the difference. I'm going to subtract these amounts, and I'm going to find out how much I still owe them. So 2 minus nothing is 2. 0 minus nothing is 0. I need a bar from the 2, makes that a 1, makes that a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 1 minus nothing is 1. 2 minus 2 is nothing. So in other words, I need to make sure that I send them another check for $18.02. So I'm going to come back over here. It's going to cost me money. I'm sending out a whole nother check, 100, or it's going to be check number 155. And let's see, what is the date? The 20th. Alright, and I'm going to say extra car payment, or you can say car payment difference or something. Just an idea that where you can know why you're paying them this money, and it's going to cost us money. In this case, I said it was going to cost me $18.02. I didn't pay enough, so I need to subtract $18.02. So 3 minus 2 is going to be 1. 2 minus nothing is 2. I got to borrow from that 9, makes it an 8, makes that a 17. 17 minus 8 is going to be 9. And 8 minus 1 is 7. 3 minus nothing is 3. So now my ending balance is $379.21. All right. So in other words, the answer to that question is I need to send out a check for $18.02. So we're done with that. Last thing. You still want to buy the $150 television. Do you have enough money to purchase the TV? And in this case, yep, looks like that I have enough money to buy that TV. So I'm going to go ahead and make that purchase. I'm going to assume that I am using my debit card. And so let's see. I guess the date you just kind of make up because it doesn't say any particular date. So I'm going to say that the next day I went in to buy me that TV I've just been dying to have, and it's going to cost me $150 and no cents. And I'm going to subtract $150 and no cents. So we have 1, 2 minus nothing is 2, 9 minus nothing is 9, 7 minus 5 is 2, 3 minus 1 is 2. So now my ending balance is $229.21, and that is it. Notice we didn't use a savings register, but usually you have a savings account and a checking account, and when you're making purchases, it's coming out of your checking account. So that's why we only focus on that. All right, there you go.